From Mumbai, let's play Kaun Banega Crorepati. What a player!
Great. So with that, yeah, we are going to start the next part of our program. I would request all those who are not part of this program to, leave, because it is an invite-only program. We'd love to have you here, but unfortunately, it's only by invite. And with that, I'd like to turn it over to my co-host, Erliani and Rudrani, to say a few words of welcome.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for coming and joining us today. I'm here in Colorado, so it's early morning for us. I know for some of you, especially those in India, it's nighttime. We are very excited to start and kick off our sessions of the Mumbai Lab, and I hope you find it enriching and interesting experience for all of us. Rudy, over to you.
I think Rudrani just walked in. So Rudrani, you might have to unmute yourself.
Hi. Hello, everybody.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
Can you just introduce yourself?
Yeah. Yes, of course. Sorry, I just walked in. I just rushed into this meeting from another class. Hello, everybody. Good evening from Calcutta, India. I'm Rudrani, and I work on education and children's rights issues in India. And currently, I'm working with ActionAid, and absolutely honored to be partnering with Elsa and Lynn in hosting the Mumbai Lab. Thank you.
One moment. So hi, everyone. Good evening. I know it was a little confusing to, to see that we had 3 back-to-back events, but today is World Habitat Day. I know I'm sounding like a stuck record. And so, I have to say it again, that today is a very special day because it's not only World Habitat Day, but the UN Habitat is hosting the Urban October month, as well as the 40 days Safer Cities Innovation Challenge, which is which started on the 21st of September, goes up right up to the 31st of October. And we took advantage of this to put a spotlight on all the work that we are doing, because the challenge, if you can see, is actually about it's about urban design for safe and inclusive cities. So yeah, so it was only apt that we took advantage of it, and we have various dignitaries in the room. So I'd like to introduce them. But before that, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Elsa Marie De Silva, and I'm the founder and CEO of Red Dot Foundation, and one of the hosts of the Safer Cities, one of the hosts for the Incubator Lab in Mumbai, along with Erliani and Rudrani. So, who are the dignitaries in the room? The dignitaries in the room are, we have the German Consul General, Dr. Morhad. We also have Juma Asiago from UN Habitat. We have Hitesh Vaidya Naeem Keruwala from National Institute of Urban Affairs. And just before this, we announced a partnership, which is the Inclusive Cities Civic Innovation Accelerator that we are part of with them. Along with them, we have several dignitaries from the German Federal Foreign Office. We have our partners who support the Global Diplomacy Lab, which is a network-driven activity, again, from the various different German networks of the BMW Foundation, Herbert Kwan's Responsible Leader Network. We have the Bosch Alumni Network, the GIZ Learning Academy, and even the Federal Foreign Office's training Training Center. So we have so many dignitaries in the room, and we also have Dr. Sangeeta Hasnale. I think she's still around. And yes, so without further ado, I know a lot of people have to run. So I'm going to ask Juma Asiago because it's a very busy time for him. So Juma, are you still around? Would you like to say a few words on this Mumbai lab? We've been talking about it for the last 6 months. And you've been a great supporter of ours. You were there last November when we had the Urban Thinkers campus in Bombay, where Barbara was also there. And we discussed it, and now it's a reality, where over the next 1 year, we have participants from 11 countries joining us to discuss a framework for what makes a safe and inclusive city, and also think of ways to implement it, which is very much in line with the project that we are doing with NIUA. And we also have the support of the municipal corporation. So Juma, would you like to say a few words, please?
Yes. The idea of taking the city as a laboratory was actually brought to bear based on the ample evidence of what has worked on safety over the past 3 decades across the world. Prevention of crime and violence has led to more multi-sectorial approaches to enhance safety in cities. And by default, communities appear to be the greatest asset to the way cities seek to construct sustainable approaches for the future. So the urban is considered as a laboratory also because the human person in the urban area, by way of his behavior or her behavior, lifestyles and circumstances, is very much misunderstood in the face of crime and violence. The heterogeneity of cities today, exhibiting diverse urban cultures playing out in public spaces, is something that is very little documented about, to the extent that one researcher said we are actually inventing a new human person, moving away from being just Homo sapiens to Homo urbanus. So you can understand that the thinking is really livid, and that cities really have a lot of the solutions already inherent in them. And public spaces, which becomes a theater, the sites for social interaction and exchange, economic vitality, political contestation, appear to be really the ground that we really need to unearth the identity and the drive of what cities need to be able to achieve the 2030 agenda for sustainable development. More holistic, more integrated.
Thank you. I'd like to ask Dr. Hasnale to maybe welcome people to Mumbai, because really you are our host in a way for Mumbai. Are you still around? I think Dr. Hasnale had to leave, so that's fine. Hitesh, would you like to say a few words?
Great, and I think again I will reiterate my congratulations to really bringing this idea on the forefront of the discourse of urban, because while we are talking about smart cities, and I was just telling in the morning today, for last 1 week, I have been talking about daring cities, what you call resilient cities, practical cities, smart cities, but nobody talked about inclusive cities. Talking about those 50% of people within the cities of Indian cities who are living, how do you plan cities for them? And I think this idea, as I told you, we need to really talk about how we mainstream informality with the formality. I think that's the way we have seen, and COVID has really shown us the invisible becoming visible. And if we don't take, as Pratima had talked about, that pre-COVID we were not, may not be a normal, even though I still feel that a lot of things which we talk about today are more of a, you know, maybe a, you know, we are just a reaction to it. But unless we institutionalize this, we continue this dialogue and get what we were not doing right and bring that right back into the discussion table and what should be done. I think that's a great step towards. I don't want to call that we were abnormal and now we are becoming normal, but because, you know, the discourse have changed, and I think we have learned those lessons, and we need to build on those and really strengthen or change the gear at this moment of time and see what we can do right. And I don't see, you know, what we are talking about today. Uh, Maybe same after 15 years if we talk about. So I think we need to look at things. Somebody in Barbara talked about arise, and I have come up a kind of word for myself that anything which in India now actions which we have to do has to be rise. A is missing, maybe I can add it, but for my abbreviation of rise is all the actions which we start doing it now, whether it is in the terms of inclusiveness, whether it is smartness, whether in terms of making city healthy. They have to be result oriented, they have to be impact oriented, they have to be scalable, and they have to be equitable. Unless we start with that working together on those type of very clear focused action oriented approach with the big vision in place, I think again I think we owe this to our next generation. And we should go about it. So I'm again thankful for inviting me on this World Habitat Day, launching this such a great collaboration. And I'm really looking forward, whether it is a city of Mumbai or any other city, we will be happy to support and work it out. But, you know, Commissioner from Mumbai talked about disadvantaged people, and they are doing something for people with disability. I will be very happy because we are also thinking within NIUA to come up a platform where the civic bodies and NGOs who are already working with people with disabilities can come together and start collecting the data, start tracking and monitoring it. So I think a lot of work which has been doing, we need to build on this and strengthen, and nobody alone, if you leave it everything to the government and think that government is my bap and it will do everything, I think that narrative has to go away, that where India has a always been carried out that government is my bap and it will do everything and I don't have to do anything. So I think that narrative has to go, and we need to collectively work with the civic bodies, work with the civic entrepreneurs, work with the youth. We bring civic innovations and see how this can be integrated and taken forward. So thank you again for bringing me here and giving me an opportunity to talk to the learned people, particularly Juma and others who have bring a lot of experience from the different and IUA. We are collecting all these ideas, and we want to create make a difference where we'll start looking at thinking and tanking together rather than just calling ourselves a think tank. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Hitesh. And there are people who are wondering what exactly is this lab all about, and so normally it would have been that I would have invited you to my city to be here and actually experience it. So since you cannot come here, I want to show you what it looks like. So I hope this works. Can you hear this?
Yes.
Hi, everyone. I hope that gives you a glimpse of Mumbai for those of you who have not been there yet. And with the current pandemic, it's not possible for us to meet in person, but hopefully it's a taste of things to come.
Rises over San Diego Bay.
I'd like to take this opportunity to invite Dean Rupresh Pollens to say a few words of welcome. Dean Rupresh Pollens, please.
So, welcome everybody. When I saw the movie from Mumbai, I remembered my staying there some 7 or 8 years ago, and I really could not remember that the streets have been so empty. So I wonder, was this a movie from a film from very early in the morning or on a holiday or whatsoever? Because traffic and jam is also one of the huge problems of these very big cities. But I would like to thank first everybody who made this Mumbai lab possible. First and foremost, also our host, the Red Dot Foundation, and our 3 GDL members, Elsa, Eliani, and Rudrani. And I found from the beginning the idea very interesting. What could be done to get such a big city like Mumbai, but maybe even also smaller cities, into how to turn it into inclusive cities. And here I'm not only thinking about being inclusive for maybe rich and poor and healthy and disabled people, but also from a standpoint where we are tackling the diversities in the cities. All our cities, bigger cities, are to some extent multicultural. And what we can see is that we are living side by side along religious or ethnic invisible borders, but we are not really living together. And for me, a very interesting question with regard to the outcome of this lab would be, how can we create a common culture which bridges these different understandings and leads really to a living together? Just to explain what I mean, of course, we think gender equality is a very important task for being inclusive. But we also know that, especially if it comes to religion, there are believed obstacles with regard to gender equality. And how to overcome these obstacles in a way that at least in the cities, we can create structures which provide gender equality from, let's say, school to job, to what's going on in the streets, in the restaurants, in the whole society. I think this is a very huge challenge, but if anywhere in the world we can establish such a common culture, it is in the cities. So I'm really looking forward what will be the outcome of this long incubator lab. We never had such a long incubator, nearly a whole year of webinars, virtual meetings, and so on and so forth. And then hopefully we can really meet in person in September next year in Mumbai to have the Impact Lab together. It's not the first time that the Global Diplomacy Lab tackles the challenges of bigger cities. We have been in Chicago to think about how to prevent youth violence structurally, not only like social workers, but from a broader perspective. And I think we have been rather successful in developing ideas for the city of Chicago. And so I really do hope that we are also able to develop and provide ideas to the city of Mumbai, to other cities, maybe also to the city of Stuttgart, which I'm also welcoming here as a partner, the twin city of Mumbai. So we can also gain some direct impact into a German city as well. So thank you for preparing this. And now I'm quoting from the letter of the email of Elsa, which who invited us to this opening session. And she said in her last sentence, it's a relaxed session, so come ready to meet and greet and have a bit of fun. That's what I want the whole Impact Lab, the whole lab to have. And as a dean, I will try to be as often guest of the meetings, the webinars as possible. And thank you all for the big workload you are ready to shoulder and which is ahead of all of us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dean. And honestly, it is our pleasure to host this lab. For those who don't know, the Global Diplomacy Lab is a network of people from various German networks, and it's member run and member driven. So we select the themes that we want to work on. And it's long been my wish to host a lab in Mumbai. It was just something that I needed to think about. How do I match something in Buenos Aires or Chicago or Berlin? And then I gathered up the courage, and I pitched in this year. And it kind of, the timing is right to have such a collaboration, because we have great partners as well. So what is our lab about? It's the impact of urban design on inclusive cities, intersections, and crossroads. And it focuses on SDGs 5 and 11, and 17, of course, which is partnerships. And the aim is for members to develop a framework to report the SDGs at the city level in line with the new urban agenda and create a strategy for implementation. And we are just excited to be here. Today is a relaxed day, like we said. The real lab starts on the 16th of October. And every month we have about 2 sessions right up to May. This is the incubator part. And then hopefully, if things are well, we will meet in person in Mumbai, 26th to the 28th of September next year. So let's keep our fingers crossed. So we have some lab participants over here. Maybe they can quickly introduce themselves and just tell us why they applied to be part of this. So
maybe we can start with Sandrine. Sandrine?
Yeah.
Sure. So hi everyone, my name is Sandrine. I'm very excited because it's my first lab, so I'm very excited to experiment as well. And of course it's Mumbai. I'm from Belgium, living normally in Turkey, currently residing in Vienna, Austria. The main things why I applied for this lab was my interest towards domestic violence and the safety of the woman. And indirectly, I think in terms of skills, I'm coming from strategy consulting, finance, and I'm very structured. So I do hope I can bring some structure in terms of defining some of the indicators and implementation and so on. So I hope I can bring value like that.
Thank you, Sandrine. I'd like to invite Momi to speak next.
Sure. Thank you, Lani, and thank you, Elsa and Rudrani. To me, this topic is something that I'm working on nowadays. I've just initiated my own think tank a year ago, and it's called Institute of Urbanism. I think since I've been working on environment and climate change, so this topic actually, why I started this think tank was also to talk about inclusive cities, but with the perspective of environment, because usually the cities are designed in a way where they don't cater to all the needs of all the people. So this lab is really something that comes at a time when I am still in the process of strategic planning for my organization, and then also to expand my network, but also learn from many institutions and many organizations that are partnering. So thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you, Momi. That's really amazing that you're doing this work. I'd now like to invite Tatiana, who's an expert. She's from the OSCE. Tatiana, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me here, and I very much look forward to this year-long journey with all of you. And with my particular expertise in human trafficking and gender-based violence, I actually would like to look at the aspects of creating safe cities for women and girls.
Thank you, Tatiana. I'd now like to invite Banu, who's from a part of the Elected Advisory Council of the GDL, but she's also a member of this lab. Banu, over to you.
Thanks, Lynn. Yes, I'm, I think, one of the 2 EAC members who get the chance to be part of this lab. And of course, I'm here as an EAC member, but also as a GDL member. And I was thinking how I should introduce my relationship to urbanization. And maybe I can say the first link that brought me into this network of member associations was through the Bosch Stiftung, and I got funding for a project I did, part of the program called Actors of Urban Change. So I was always working on these urban issues and how urbanization made a difference, how we could change it, how we could look at it. So I hope to also contribute in a way with my experience. I am from Turkey and I'm currently living in Istanbul, which is a big city just like Mumbai with its own problems. And I saw a lot of things that I think are similar between Istanbul and Mumbai. So I'm looking forward to this.
Thank you, Banu. Now I'd like to invite Cecilia. She was at one point one of the youngest mayors to have taken office. Cecilia, it's amazing to have you on board with us as well today.
Thank you. The pleasure is all mine to be with all these thoughtful people. And so I have started my adult life through local politics back in Bolivia, and currently I am working in local affairs as well, but with an immigrant lens. And back then, 20 years ago, or today, we tend to be extremely active and always reacting to what's happening. And I think we need to be more thoughtful and data-driven as well, so our energy is better focused. So I'm very much looking forward to learn and to apply new methodologies. Thank you.
Thank you, Cecilia. Last but not least, we also have Julia Jaroszewski. She's has her own lab as well, her own think tank with one of our other friends, Sonia Peter Under. Julia, it's good to have you this morning. Julia, are you there? I think you're on mute.
I think she dropped out. You're on mute now.
Melissa, how are you? We have you now. So can you also introduce yourself to the rest of us and why you're motivated to join this lab? Melissa, please.
I think she's on mute.
Okay. Melissa, you're on mute. So we can, shall we proceed? Also?
Yes, we should proceed. So you might be wondering that they're all women in this lab. We did have one guy, Volkan, but he had to drop out because he's very busy with COVID relief work in his country. As you can see, all our GDL members are very high-placed officials in their own countries. We have Julia Spinelli, who's an EAC member. She's part of the Brazilian government. She's not here as well, but they are all committed to the lab. Volkan is the only one who dropped out, making us an all-girls team, which is not a bad idea. And Julia's just entering. So we'll give her a moment to settle down, but what's coming up next is a breakout room where we get to meet other people in the room. So as I said earlier, we have the Consul General of Germany in Mumbai. We have the Vice Consul General of Germany in Mumbai. I think we were to have the city of Stuttgart, but I don't see her right here, Nadia. But we have other partners from the German Federal Foreign Office as well. And we have our Indian BMW responsible leaders. So we all want to meet everyone, but we can't do this as a big group. So obviously the only way to do it is in breakout rooms. So Julia, if you can unmute yourself and just share, who you are and why you were motivated to join this lab, that would be great. Okay,
No, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear
you. You don't see me, right? Okay, just wait a second. I lost connection. Here I am. Yes, I'm a journalist and I have been working on violence in cities for many, many years all over the world. And I have been working and living in Mumbai for some months, some years ago, and I was really interested on working on this topic because it's actually, it just fits in both of parts of them. And I think it's great to meet new people who are involved in this topic, especially the Red Dot Foundation, etc. Because I think I wrote about it when I was in Mumbai the years before, and yeah, I'm very happy to see you all here.
Okay, so should we proceed to the breakout rooms, or Eliani, do you have one last announcement for us?
I do. Just to make things very exciting, the three of us, Rudy, Elsa, and I, we were discussing pitching to an Oxford-based publisher. So it's called Roulette in Oxford. And we also talking to the other hosts of the labs in Mexico and in Romania. And we want to document the findings from this lab. So how do we co-facilitate? How do we co-create with local partners on the ground? How do we create the pilot studies? And so documenting all these processes with our local partners, and just to show how the GDL as a lab is different to other platforms and how we can do impact from the global and local context. So it's just to make you guys excited about the road ahead. I'll be doing most of the documentation work alongside our interns who have come on board. I will talk to you guys separately about that. Our lovely interns, thank you. And yeah, so something just to make you guys excited about the path ahead.
And so now we'll open up the breakout rooms, and there's no agenda. Just say hello, just find out who you are, and maybe one interesting thing about each other. Okay, Kajal, you can send us to the breakout rooms. Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Anusha. And who is the Secretariat intern?
Well, we're three right now. We're three interns. We weren't planning on participating actively. We were just listening in on
That's fine.
lab.
Fine. Put on your video and let us see who you are, and maybe we can say hello.
We didn't set up the camera yet. I'm sorry.
Okay, no problem. So do you want to share who you are? Are y'all three people now?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so why don't each of you say who you are and why the lab is interesting, or what did you hear today? Anything, stood out for you?
Well, not sure.
Hi.
Hi.
Iron screen out there.
Yeah, we did it in a home office kind of way. Hi, I'm Alex.
Hi, I'm Pauli. Hello.
And I'm Felix. I think we already chatted per email, and I'm particularly interested in Mumbai because I'll be going to Mumbai next year for an internship, like if Corona allows us. So yeah, it's super interesting to hear.
What is the internship about?
At the Indo-German Chamber of Commerce.
Oh, wow. Okay, great. That's great.
So I'm looking forward to that.
Wonderful. What about you, Anusha?
Hello, everyone. My name is Anusha. I use she, they pronouns. I'm a second year student at Yale University, but I'm taking a gap semester. And right now I'm interning with Safe City and the Red Dot Project, which is why I'm here.
Great. And as you know, I'm Elsa, and I'm the founder and CEO of the Red Dot Foundation. And I'm really thrilled and excited, and I'm relieved that today's day is coming to an end and that we've had a lot of fun. Yeah, so how's it in Germany? Tell us about the COVID situation in Germany, and what is the one urban innovation that y'all are interested in, or that y'all appreciate that y'all have in Germany and other countries we don't have it necessarily?
Wow, that's a good question. What kind of innovation do we have here in Germany?
No, I mean the COVID situation.
The COVID situation.
It's getting worse right now in Berlin, the COVID situation. We had, we didn't, is it even possible to see us?
I'm sorry.
Pretty dark.
We can see all three of you, don't worry.
Okay.
Yeah, it's getting worse in Berlin right now. In the Federal Foreign Office, we have to wear masks. Again, in the office, in every ways and halls, also in the cafeteria.
We would have loved to be on site for the lab in Mumbai. We were so excited. Just like doing the thought of doing internship and then being able to go to Mumbai for the lab. How was it for you guys there?
So to be honest, the lockdown was lifted just a couple of weeks ago, and but I'm still at home. I don't really go out and socialize. From today, the restaurants, and I think the restaurants are open, but I don't think people are going to go and participate.
How about you, Anusha? Where are you right now?
I'm in Bangalore right now. It's fine. I mean, like, it's good. No, everyone is just pretending like it doesn't exist, which is, a choice. But yeah, like everything is really normal right now. And schools are opening next week, or like they're allowed to open next week. So that'll be interesting to see how it goes. Like my little brother, he's in grade 9, and he's doing online school, so it really sucks. So hopefully he can go back to school, like real school.
Okay. And what's the one innovation that you like?
What kind of innovation are we talking about specifically?
What is innovation? So for example, Germany did extremely well in contact tracing. Okay. So can you share that? Or for example, y'all use a lot of bicycles.
Yeah.
We don't have that.
I think we even were like the first country to introduce like an app to follow up corona cases. So the government, they opened up, I think in collaboration with SAP, they opened like an application that everyone was supposed to download. I mean, it was not obligatory to do so, but then like you were constantly spotting where you are with your location, and then if someone there like was infected with COVID, then you get a notification like a week later on that you were in contact with someone who's now infected. So I think that was like an innovation that Germany was like quite good at.
Well, it came pretty spät. Late. I think South Korea had it first.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah,
but like for
definitely.
Europe, I think it was fast.
Well,
because I know like UK, they still don't have that.
That's true. Yeah. Innovation.
I'm just trying to shuffle some rooms. So one moment.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry about it. Kann das Ich kann nicht Spiegel halten und
Achso, die ist gar nicht dran.
Nee. It's kind of dark in here. Let's turn on the light.
So do you all go to the Foreign Office? Or you all work from home?
We're at work right now. We're at the GDL office in Berlin.
Okay.
What was the question? How do we get to the Federal Foreign Office?
No. So
where we are right now.
Yeah. And Olivia is also an intern with the Foreign Office, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, great. But you're not based out of Berlin.
No, Munich.
Okay. So what made you all pick the GDL for internships?
Well, actually, we all applied to the Federal Foreign Office, and then we got placed here. And I think it's definitely a very, very good chance to get to know such an interesting network with so many interesting members, and it offers a very good insight into diplomacy and just in general how connections abroad work. It's really a great opportunity here. I have a question. How is it actually in India with the corona situation? Does India use technology to minimize the corona impact?
So they asked everybody to download an app, but I've not downloaded it, but there are some states where they check whether you have it or not. So maybe Anusha, because she is in a different city, she's in Bangalore, and there they have, I think they checked the app, and they had unlocked much before Mumbai. So maybe Anusha, you can share how's it in Bangalore.
Yeah, I have the app. I didn't do anything, but it exists as a BA. So that's exciting. And the situation is like very normal. Like all of the restaurants are open. Everyone has to wear masks like inside, and a lot of offices and grocery stores have hand sanitizing stations outside. So you can't go in if you don't sanitize your hands. And yeah, and you do see a lot of people wearing masks and like trying to be careful.
But when you go out and you travel, do you have to show this app anywhere?
No.
Nobody checks.
Nobody checks, no.
And when you flew from Berlin to Bangalore, what happened?
I had to download the app and then show it to the immigration people saying that I had the app, but they didn't make me do anything about it. But before I flew, I had to have a negative COVID test, like certificate saying that I didn't have COVID.
Okay. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, for us too, I don't need to use the app, but how's it in Munich, Olivia? Is it like Berlin where the numbers are increasing after summer vacation?
Yeah, I think there was a similar spike once everyone came back from different places, but I think it's more or less become more stable. Like there was a period of 2 weeks, I think, where there are a lot stricter regulations. Like you could only meet up with up to 5 people in the city, and you had to wear masks in a lot of the public places in the city. But I'm pretty sure it ended last weekend because the cases are more stable. So it's a lot better now, but still you have to wear masks into stores and in restaurants and stuff like that.
Okay, great. And what's your motivation, Olivia?
Well, I'm not a university student, actually. I'm only in 11th grade, so I was hoping for this to be more of a learning experience, but I am really driven towards learning more about diplomacy and international relations, so I was hoping to get more insight into how the GDL is approaching it and just use it as a learning experience.
Okay, okay. Okay, thank you, everyone. Have fun.
I just got into a breakout movie, and Rudrani and everyone was speaking, and I just landed like same. I was wondering whether somebody was like, you start feeling invisible all of a sudden.
Yeah, and I didn't know whether people were consciously nervous to come to the breakout room.
No, we were not. Sorry.
So yeah, it's hard sometimes to recreate an atmosphere that would be in a physical setting in a virtual setting. And it's also hard when you plan out a breakout room and people leave. So
you know what, Elsa? It then is very rude because we kept leaving mid-sentence.
Yeah.
So I guess that won't work in a real setting.
But it also kind of gives you an authoritarian power of putting people wherever you want to, pulling from there and pushing them to a place where, I mean, this is really diplomacy, right?
Well, no, finally, I think Elsa just got her action, okay? She said she wanted action in this session, she got it.
Great. So thank you everyone for bearing with us. I really appreciate it. And yeah, so what is Mumbai without a little bit of Bollywood and a little bit of music and a little bit of drama? And moving y'all from one room to another is a bit of drama. So thank you. And of course, if you do come to Mumbai next year, which physically I hope that happens, you please come with an open mind, because what you saw in the video is, pretty much during a COVID situation, lockdown. Juma can tell you during his UTC experience, we made him cross an extremely busy road because we had to get from our conference venue to the restaurant, and it was literally across the road, but he was fearful that he was going to lose his life. He was battling.
I will not forget.
He was battling the potholes, the traffic, the cows, the dogs, the bicycles, and whatnot. So, and Barbara's completely used to it. So it just takes a little bit of getting used to, but please come with an open mind. And in order to prepare you for your Mumbai experience, which is 1 year from now, I'm going to ask Supreet to play some music, but not only that, she just gave you a taste at the beginning with some moves, but she's going to show you some moves, and we are going to practice some moves so that over the next 1 year, we keep practicing, and by the time you come here, we can have a big dance party, Bollywood dance party, and you'll be perfect. Over to you, Supreet.
Thanks, Elsa. And don't worry, we are not doing moves. You're not going to stand up and do any moves. So you're just going to sit and do some very simple things, and you just need to keep on repeating them, right? So I'm going to play the music, and let's try and see if we can match the movements, okay? Can you hear that? Come on, all of you. Come on, all of you. Now, Pinay, I can't see you dancing.
Hello, hello. 2 floors पे जब है आई येलो येलो बड़ी सॉलिड मस्ती छाई हेलो हेलो तू मुझे तुमने लगाई येलो येलो कंट्रोल करो मेरे भाई
Come on, nobody's dancing. Tanya, I can't see you dancing. Okay, just keep on doing one of the two.
Mome, I can't see you dancing. Mome, Pakistani is not similar. You can dance.
Still you're feeling it.
हेलो हेलो दिल दिल से कनेक्ट करना येलो येलो ये बातें डायरेक्ट करना ये दिल छन बोले हम सारी चूड़ियां रात बड़ी है मस्तानी तो दिल भर जाए कर ले गल्ला चूड़ियां ये दिल छन बोले हम सारी चूड़ियां रात बड़ी है मस्तानी तो दिल भर जाए कर ले गल्ला चूड़ियां
Nobody's dancing, not fair. I am.
we'll have to have a weekly class.
जानी क्यों इतनी खुश है दीवानी तू मुझको ऐसी कहानी समझा दे ये बात है सबने चाही मिल जन्मों ना मिलानी ये हुआ कुछ ऐसा ही समझे ना अब मैं जाना कह रही हो क्या फसाना हो प्यार करने से भी मुश्किल है निभाना हो हेलो डोंट माइंड मेरा ये कहना ये लो जरा मेरे टच में रहना बड़ी है मस्तानी तो दिल भर जानी चलने गल्ला घूड़ियां
Big round of applause for all of you, all of us.
Well, thank you so much, everyone. This was really, I hope you got a little taste of Mumbai. And this was really the first day, the inaugural, but the real lab starts on 16th of October. I know we overwhelmed you with a lot of calendar invites, but you know, we hope to see you on 16th October and start the real work on this. In the meantime, if you need any songs, Bollywood songs and any videos, we'll be happy to supply you with them. And if you want classes, then we will send you Supreet's email address and she can give you she can give you yoga classes and also the Bollywood dance classes. Eliani, do you want to say some few words? Or Senta, do you want to say some words, Senta?
That's fine. Thank you very much. I'm so exhausted from dancing. I will hand over to Lynn to tell us what is coming up, right, in the next meetings.
Elsa, do you want to give a few words on that?
So on the 16th, we are going to talk about macro, you know, the safe and inclusive cities concept at the macro level. And then in the subsequent ones, we will start going deeper into the micro. And over the next 10 sessions, we will meet different groups from within the city working on different aspects. We will also talk to urban experts, smart city CEOs, administration, but also different nonprofits. And we also hope to bring in some citizens from representing different parts of the city so that you get a feel of what this whole lab is about. And also we start engaging the actual people on the ground. And so every session hereafter will be on a Friday from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Indian Standard Time. The first hour will be about the experts talking. And the second hour will be us breaking out into groups to maybe work on a, you know, some concepts and think about some ideas, maybe use case studies. So it'll be different on different days, but that's really what we have in mind. And it won't be very heavy because we will make time to dance and sing as well. Any questions? No? Okay. Lynn? Great. So then we'll see you on the 16th of October. Bye.
Bye. Happy World Habitat Day.
Thank you, Juma, for staying till the end.
All right.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks.
Bye.
Thanks,
Thank you.
as well. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.